Everything that appears in your world is the reflection of your inner state, the outpicturing of your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. Imagination is not a mere daydream, nor is it an idle fantasy. It's the creative force shaping your reality. The world you experience is nothing more than the solidified essence of your dominant mental activity. If you wish to change your circumstances, you must first change your imagination. Every great transformation begins in the unseen realm of thought. The house you live in, the clothes you wear, the relationships you experience, all were once thoughts, ideas, or images in the mind before they took physical form. What you persistently hold in consciousness must find expression in your outer world. There is no power outside of you determining the course of your life. The only creative force is within, and it is directed by the images you entertain with feeling and conviction. Most people allow the five senses to dictate their beliefs. They look at the world as it is and conclude that this is reality. But what they fail to recognize is that the external world is merely the shadow of their inner world. To accept appearances as the final truth is to be ruled by effects rather than causes. The wise do not react to conditions, they create them. Instead of accepting circumstances as immovable facts, they turn inward and shape a new reality through the power of assumption. Imagination, fused with faith, is the master key to transformation. When you assume something to be true, even if all evidence denies it, the world must rearrange itself to reflect your assumption. The moment you accept a new idea as real in your inner world, you set unseen forces into motion, forces that will inevitably manifest that assumption in the outer world. The law is simple: as within, so without. If you wish to experience wealth, you must first feel wealthy within. If you desire love, you must first assume the feeling of being loved. It is not your effort, struggle, or external actions that shape your destiny. It is your ability to occupy the state of fulfillment before it appears in form. This is the great secret. This is the hidden path to mastery. To imagine is to create, and what you persistently imagine with belief will harden into fact. Do not wait for conditions to change before feeling the reality of your desire. Dare to assume it now. Walk in the conviction that what you seek is already yours, and the world will yield to your vision. There is no need to beg, no need to force anything into being. The moment you see yourself as already possessing the thing desired, you have set the creative process in motion. The reality must conform. Your imagination is the divine faculty through which all things are made. It is the origin of every experience, the architect of destiny. Use it wisely, deliberately, and with unwavering faith. To live in the end is to dwell in the state of already having that which you desire. It is not a passive hope, nor is it a wishful daydream. It is the deliberate assumption that what you seek is already accomplished. The mind, unaware of its creative power, often fixates on the absence of what it desires, reinforcing the very lack it wishes to escape. But the key to transformation is not in longing or effort. It is in assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and resting in that certainty. The world you see is not separate from the state you occupy within. Everything unfolds according to your inner conviction, and what you accept as true will express itself in your experience. When you persist in the awareness that your desire is already a reality, you summon the forces of creation to shape the outer world in its image. This is not a matter of forcing events to happen, but of preparing the way for their inevitable appearance. Most people live in the middle, constantly reacting to circumstances, waiting for something external to change before they feel secure, loved, or fulfilled. But to live in the end is to bypass the need for external validation and rest in the inner certainty that all is already done. If you desire success, do not dwell in the struggle of becoming successful. Step into the consciousness of already being successful. If love is what you seek, do not focus on loneliness. Embody the feeling of already being in the relationship you desire. It is not pretending, it is knowing. The senses may scream otherwise. The world may show you evidence that contradicts your assumption. But the law of consciousness does not operate according to external facts. It operates according to your internal conviction. Reality is fluid, shaped by the persistence of your inner state. The moment you choose to dwell in the fulfillment of your desire rather than in its absence, unseen forces move to bring it forth. To live in the end requires discipline, not of force or willpower, but of awareness. It is a commitment to remain mentally and emotionally in the state of the accomplished desire, refusing to entertain doubt or entertain opposing thoughts. This is not an act of suppression, but of mastery, choosing deliberately where to place attention, knowing that what is impressed upon the mind will inevitably be expressed. When you assume a state, the world must shift to accommodate it. People, events, and circumstances will arrange themselves to make your assumption a tangible reality. You do not need to know how. It is not your concern. Your only task is to persist in the assumption, to live as though it were already so, to think, feel, and act from the position of its fulfillment. The mind that wavers, questioning when or how things will unfold, delays the process. The mind that remains steadfast in its assumption sets in motion the unseen gears of creation, compelling reality to conform to its vision. Fear is the great illusion, the veil that distorts reality and keeps the mind bound to limitation. It is a shadow with no true substance, a phantom sustained only by belief in its power. Faith, on the other hand, is the force that dissolves fear, the light that dispels darkness. It is the knowing that no matter what the senses report, the unseen reality of your assumption is already taking form. The battle is never external, it is always within, between the acceptance of fear or the conviction of faith. The world conditions people to react to appearances, to trust in what they see rather than what they know within. But appearances are merely reflections of past assumptions, and to allow them to dictate your belief is to surrender creative power to illusion. Fear whispers that circumstances are insurmountable, that what you desire is beyond reach, that you must struggle and strive against an indifferent world. But faith stands unmoved, knowing that all things are possible to the one who believes. Fear binds, but faith liberates. When you choose faith over fear, you shift consciousness from limitation to infinite possibility. The external world may show lack, opposition, or delay, but the one who walks by faith does not waver. They do not seek reassurance from outside conditions, for they know that reality is shaped by what is assumed within. Every moment presents a choice: to believe in fear, which only magnifies doubt and suffering, or to trust in faith, which calls forth the fulfillment of every desire. Fear thrives on uncertainty and on the mind's fixation on how things will unfold. It feeds on the need for control, on the habit of looking to the outer world for proof before believing. But faith operates in the unseen. It does not wait for evidence. It creates it. Faith does not concern itself with the process, but rests in the assurance that the end is already secured. The one who truly believes does not waver, for they know that their assumption is the only reality. To have faith is not to ignore circumstances, but to transcend them. It is the refusal to accept anything less than the fulfillment of your desire as truth. It is the silent knowing that beneath every challenge, every apparent delay, the unseen forces of creation are already at work. Faith does not ask whether something is possible, it declares it done. It does not plead, beg, or hope. It claims, commands, and rests in certainty. Fear will always attempt to reassert itself, to make its case through circumstances, memories, and logic. But the one who understands the nature of reality does not entertain it. They do not give life to fear by engaging with it, for they know that attention is creative. To fear is to affirm the power of lack. But to have faith is to affirm the presence of fulfillment. Every challenge is an invitation to choose, to surrender, to fear, or to rise in faith, to remain bound by appearances, or to stand firm in the knowing that what is assumed must come to pass. The past is not fixed, nor is it an immovable record that must dictate the course of your life. What you remember, you recreate, and what you recreate, you relive. The mind, unaware of its power, clings to past experiences as if they hold authority over the present. But the truth is that the past remains only as long as you continue to give it life. Through the power of revision, you can reshape old memories, alter their emotional impact, and, in doing so, change the trajectory of your future. Reality is fluid, molded by consciousness, and your assumptions about the past determine how it continues to influence you. If you dwell on past failures, disappointments, and pains, you unconsciously reaffirm them in the present, inviting them to repeat in new forms. But when you revise an experience, mentally reimagining it as you wish it had occurred, you impress a new reality upon the subconscious mind, which must then externalize it. The past, present, and future are not separate. They are a continuous unfolding of the same creative power, shaped by what you accept as truth. To revise is to reclaim authority over your life, refusing to be imprisoned by old wounds or conditioned reactions. If a conversation went poorly, rewrite it in your mind, seeing it unfold harmoniously. If an event brought pain, reimagine it as a moment of joy or triumph. Do not dismiss this as fantasy, for the subconscious does not distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. The new memory, if persisted in, will overwrite the old, and its effects will ripple outward, reshaping relationships, circumstances, and even the actions of others. Most people believe that time moves in one direction, that what has been done cannot be undone. But the mind is not bound by linear time. It is the origin of time itself, dictating how events unfold based on what is accepted as true. When you revise a past event, you do not merely change your perception of it, you change its very foundation in reality. The people involved, the consequences that seemed inevitable, and even your own personality are subject to the new assumption. What once seemed like an unchangeable past becomes a flexible canvas, responding to the brushstrokes of imagination. If you find yourself trapped by regret, use revision. Before sleep, replay the event in your mind, but this time see it unfold in your favor. Experience it differently. Hear the word you wish had been spoken. Feel the emotions of victory rather than defeat. Let this new scene take root, replacing the old, and watch as life adjusts accordingly. Even long-standing patterns of hardship, when revised persistently, will dissolve, making way for new experiences aligned with your ideals. Revision is not merely a tool for correcting the past. It is a technique for mastery over reality itself. It is proof that nothing is final, that no mistake is beyond transformation, and that no event holds power over you unless you allow it. The past is never lost. It is only waiting to be rewritten by the one who dares to assume a new and better outcome. The world you see before you is nothing more than a mirror, faithfully reflecting your dominant thoughts, emotions, and assumptions. It does not operate independently of you, nor does it impose conditions upon you from some external force. Instead, it is shaped moment by moment by the state of consciousness you occupy. To change the world around you, you must first change yourself. No lasting transformation can occur in the external world without a corresponding shift within. Many believe that circumstances dictate their inner feelings, that happiness, success, and love come only when external conditions align with their desires. But this is an illusion, a misunderstanding of the true nature of reality. The outer world is not the cause, it is the effect. Every experience, every event, and every relationship is drawn to you by the vibration of your inner state. What you hold in mind with feeling and persistence must eventually manifest in the world around you. If you dwell in a state of lack, seeing only limitation and struggle, life will confirm those beliefs by presenting you with more of the same. If you carry the assumption that people mistreat you, you will find yourself in situations where that assumption is fulfilled. It is not because the world is against you, but because it is responding to the frequency of your dominant state. The key to change, therefore, is not in forcing the world to be different, but in assuming a different inner position. When you shift your inner state, the world must shift to match it. If you assume the consciousness of abundance, feeling prosperous and secure even before the evidence appears, you set in motion a series of events that will bring financial well-being into your experience. If you embody the feeling of love, knowing yourself to be deeply cherished and valued, your relationships will transform to reflect that assumption. The world has no choice but to conform to the image you hold within. The mistake most make is attempting to manipulate the external world while neglecting the inner cause. They struggle, fight circumstances, and attempt to control people, believing that by changing the outside, they will finally feel at peace within. But the law is clear. Change yourself first, and the world will follow. You are never at the mercy of events. You are the creator of them. Your inner dialogue, the way you speak to yourself in silence, is continuously shaping what appears before you. If there is an area of life that troubles you, look not at the world, but at your inner state regarding that subject. What beliefs do you hold? What emotions do you entertain? What mental conversations are you having? All of these are forming the reality you experience. The moment you take responsibility for your inner world, you reclaim your power. No longer a victim of chance or circumstance. You become the conscious architect of your destiny. Deliberately choosing thoughts and feelings that align with the life you desire. The words I am are the most powerful creative force in existence. They are not mere words. They are the key to shaping reality, the gateway to infinite potential. Whatever follows, I am becomes your truth, for these words declare your state of being, and your state of being determines the world you experience. To say I am is to claim an identity, and that identity must externalize itself in the form of circumstances, conditions, and events that match it. Most people use I am unconsciously, attaching it to limitations, struggles, and fears. They say, I am tired, I am broke, I am unworthy, and then wonder why life continues to reflect those conditions back to them. But the law is absolute. What you assume and persist in must be made manifest. The moment you declare something with feeling and conviction, you have set a cause into motion, and reality will rearrange itself to fulfill that assumption. Your I am is your center of power. It is the awareness of being, the divine presence within that calls things into existence. Before anything can appear in your world, it must first be claimed by you internally. If you desire health, the claim must be, I am healthy. If you seek success, the declaration must be, I am successful. It is not about pretending or wishing, it is about knowing. I need not before willing. The mind may argue, the senses may deny it, but reality does not form according to appearances. It forms according to belief. When you say I am, followed by anything, you are not merely describing a condition, you are creating it. You are aligning yourself with that state of consciousness, and in doing so, you invite all experiences that correspond with it. If you declare, I am strong, you do not need to force strength to appear. It will emerge naturally as an extension of that assumption. The world must mirror back to you the identity you have claimed. Most struggle because they misuse this power. They affirm weakness, lack, and limitation, not realizing that they are authoring their own experience. They look at their current conditions and allow them to dictate their I am, reinforcing the very reality they wish to escape. But the secret is to declare what you wish to be, regardless of what is presently visible. To say, I am, is to assume. An assumption hardens into fact. There is no external force deciding who you are. Only you have that authority. The world does not label you, you label yourself, and life responds accordingly. If you take control of your declarations, consciously choosing empowering identities, you will witness the transformation of your reality. Say, I am wealthy, and wealth will come. Say, I am loved, and love will surround you. The power has always been yours, waiting to be used deliberately rather than unconsciously. Whatever you attach to I am, with feeling and persistence, will inevitably become your lived experience. The power to shape your reality lies within you. Your imagination creates your world, your faith overcomes fear, and your assumptions determine your experiences. When you live in the end, revise the past, and recognize that your world is only a reflection of your inner state, you step into true mastery. The words, I am, define your destiny. Choose them wisely. Do not look to the outside world for change. Transform within, and life will mirror that transformation. Trust in the unseen, persist in your assumption, and know that what you seek is already yours. God has already solved.